Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to our LPE presentation, and today we will present you about the impact of the lockdown. First of all, we will introduce to all members. Starting from myself, my name is Aryo, Bimo, Damarjati, Nugroho, and my matric number is 201419.
My name is Abieza Zahranaufal Wardhana. My metric number is 204368.
And my name is Luqman Danendra. My matrix number is 2014-02.
And we will start the presentation right now. So first of all, I will explain about what is the lockdown meaning, and then I will explain about what is the inside of the slide, and we will go to what is the lockdown. So basically, a lockdown is a requirement for people to stay where they are, and usually it's because of a specific risk in that area. And lockdown usually have strong relationship with the sentences of stay at home, because government or certain people ask for people around the area to stay at home and don't go to anywhere. And in this presentation, we will cover up to various impact of the lockdown. First of all, we will go to the economic impact, and then go to the public health, to the education, environment, and finally, we will conclude everything. Right now, we go to the economic impact of the lockdown. There are 3 points that cover up the economic impact. First of all is the reduction of working hours. The lockdown make various of business has the negative impact to the business because of the lockdown. People cannot go to the office, cannot go to the business. Therefore, so many people close their store or only reducing the working hour because of they need to social distancing and then cannot work normally. For example, if we go to Australia, only in around of April, when the lockdown start, many of the Australia business start to struggling to start their business like normally, because of 80% of the business should reduce their working hour. Therefore, so many employee cannot do their job accordingly. And then we go to the second point, which is the panic buying led to the supply shortage. Because of the lockdown required many people to stay at their place, so many people are start to panicking and buying everything in at a time. For example, in the United States, based on the Fortune article, there are so many tissue paper shortages. Actually, 702% the demand of the tissue is rising. So around in April, US suffer 80% of deficit on the tissue paper. And there are many similar cases in basic needs, for example, like shortage in rice or in food and so on. And then we go to the final point, which is travel restriction. So in travel restriction, many government of certain countries ban their people or foreigner to travel to their country to prevent anything worse. For example, like Malaysia, they prevent tourists to go to Malaysia to not make anything worse, and they only allow some cases, for example, for study case, for students to come back to Malaysia, and a medical tour, so people can go to hospital in Malaysia. And we will go to the next segment, which is I'll give it to Abieza.
Okay, so the main goal of lockdown in public health sector is to prevent spread of coronavirus. Is as in the charts given in the right side of your screen provided by ncoronavirus.org. we can see that these are examples of countries that successfully handle coronavirus. All of these charts are representing the decrease in cases of coronavirus in countries that organize lockdown correctly. While we're in lockdown condition, we also need to follow certain health protocol provided by our local government. The health protocol are such as wash your hand regularly, social distancing, which is maintaining a safe distance from other person, wear a mask when you go out, stay at home if you feel sick, and many more. Lockdown not only affecting physical health, but it also made an impact to mental health. According to health.org.uk, more than 2/3 of adults in the UK report feeling worried about the effect COVID-19 is having on their life. The most common issues are worry about the future and feeling stressed or anxious. The UCL COVID-19 social study of 90,000 UK adults has monitored mental health symptoms throughout lockdown. Finding levels of anxiety and depression fell in early June as lockdown measures began to lift. These issues are mainly caused by social isolation, job and financial losses, and housing insecurity. If these problems are not treated properly, it will lead to larger mental health concern. Next slide. Education sector also affected by lockdown. The most noticeable effect is schools and universities closure, which is why we are presenting through YouTube right now. While schools and universities are closed, teachers needs to continue teaching their students. That's why schools and university proceed to continue their classes through virtual classes, such as Zoom, Skype, Google Meet, and any other online media. For younger students, a role of parents become more important than before. According to headteacherupdate.com, parents and teachers should work together to ensure their children continue to learn during the school closure. Now I will pass it to Luqman Danendra to give the next sector.
So the next sector is the environment. As it's written, there are 3 points that are given. Right? One, the fall in the air pollution. So during the lockdowns that was put place in like many other countries and all the countries especially actually, there was lesser number of people traveling and lesser number of people, like there's a number of tourists around the world. So whether it's traveling by car, by any other transportation, can be train, can be anything. Like even also for the industries were closed and it's not functioning also. And this turns to the less number of air polluted significantly. And for the water quality, and water quality, like for the second point, water quality, it becomes better because, like as I said before, less number of people using the transportation, and from here is for the boat and for the ship, and less and any other transportation that is by the water. Since there were no boats and people that are fishing or traveling by boat, the water has been cleared, of course. And in the areas like Venice, and the water becomes so clear that the fish could be seen and there was a better water flow. And there will be no drop also because as the lesser number of people or human footstep or footfall, even the ocean are recovering and the marine life is thriving, which means that like less number of people working and cause like because like human cause everything, like this pollution caused by human, of course. And again, like continue from the topic before, the the fish also were concerned, and the fish and all other animals, like from this pollution tinggi. And it can be seen by the decline in fishing, right? Because of the lockdown, due to the lockdown. And all the animals become like they move freely and like, yeah, no hunting and stuff like that. And the third point is a decline in the carbon emission. So as I read through the article, so this is the most decrease in the carbon emission since the World War II. And the first peer review analysis of the drop in carbon emission during the COVID-19 lockdown, and it has shown that daily emission decreased by 17%, or 17 million tons of carbon dioxide globally during the peak of the confinement on April 7, dropping to level last observed in 2006. And the emission from the land transport accounted for almost half, 43% of the decrease, while power generation accounted for 19%, industry for 25%, and aviation for 10%. It said, like through this article that I read. And the author also tested for the 3 scenario of easing out the lockdown later this year, and found that world could be on course for 4 to 7% drop in the total emission by the end of 2020. So move down to the conclusion. So in conclusion, so there are a lot of positive impact on the environment, and there are also a negative impact on the environment and any other things, which is from the impact of the lockdown, which is can be from the economic, public health, and education also. And there will be also a fear that once people start to travel again and going back to their normal life, or like going back to what's their life cycle, that what have they been doing, and all the positive impact that's happened and all the negative impact that happened in this lockdown, it will disappear. I think that's all what I'm gonna say now. So that will be the closing. Thank you. So this is our presentation from Bimo, Abi, and Luqman. Thank you and good night.